Hi, welcome to Quack Pack. I'm Bob. Welcome to Unearthed, where I go over my metal detecting skills and things that I've found. I want to update from the last episode, episode 2, where I found a coin. Didn't really clean it up well, but I can pretty much, I got a good idea what it is. It's the first small cent after the large cents. They only minted 3 years of 1856 through 1858, so it's got to be one of them.
So do you want to clarify that?
What?
They made initially their pennies, their cent coins were big.
Right.
So this is one of the first 3 years of a small
Small
cent.
cent. So here I can throw a large one out there. Here's another. That's a large cent that I just recently found too, and I also haven't cleaned. They minted them from 1793 through 1855 or 56, whenever they started the small cents, which was the first one, which is the Flying Eagle. I will clean it up eventually. I'll have time and get that cleaned up. We want to go back to our giveaway, but if you can guess what that is, I'm going to give you a coin. We're going to pick out of the people that guess it right, and we're going to send it out to you. We're going to put a link down below, and you put your guess and your email. We'll figure out who the winner is. If you've already guessed, we've got your information. What I'm going to go over today is some coins that I found, how I found them, a little bit of stories behind them and what have you. This first one I'm going to show you right here is one of the oldest coins I have. It's a 1723 Spanish 2 real. The American government fashioned their coinage after the Spanish, and the 8 real was the largest Spanish coin, which would be the equivalent to maybe a silver dollar. And then they had a 4 real, which was would be a half cent. 2 real, which would be a quarter, which is like this, is or 0.903 silver. And then a half real, which I've also got. Half real is from 1781. I found that along with a road. It's not a road, it's a dirt path. It was called Stagecoach Road back in the 1700s. And I just went along the roads and metal detected. Going back to this 2 real, I'd gone up to one of the very few homes that I actually went up and knocked on the door and asked if I could metal detect their property. Usually what I do is get the information and mail them a letter and tell them who I am and so on and so forth. But this particular old gal was out sitting on her porch, and I drove down the road and got out and I said hi, and you know, I wanted to get down by the creek that she owned property up to. And she said, sure, look for arrowheads and things like that. She was 94 years old. The house had been in her family since 1798, and it was built before that. That's when they got it, and they had no idea when it was actually built. It was a sharp-looking old colonial that's been well kept or renovated. And so I went down by the river. It's right along a covered bridge, just on the eastern portion of New York, right along the Vermont border, but it was in New York. I started metal detecting in her a farm field that she rents out. You know, lets other farmers grow crops in it, and I went through it and I found this half real or the 2 real in the field. Next one to go to is the very first one. I think I talked about it in episode 1. It was the first coin, old coin that I found, which I found along I'd asked a farmer, I wrote him a letter and asked him if I could metal detect his field, and he said sure. And he allowed people to swim along this creek at the edge of his property. And I did find a lot of clad coins, but this was the first one that I actually found that was old that really got me bid on the hobby. And that was a 1797 draped bust large cent, and it was pegged between a couple stones right underneath the bridge. As we go through a lot of the coins that I have, they would make them, and you know, they're solid copper, they're pure copper. There weren't any mixtures in these coins back then. That's why they're so dark. This one was Hard Times token, and the only reason why I'm showing it to you is from 1834, and I'm showing it to you because it's clipped. And what they would do is they'd have a full coin, which was worth a cent, and they would clip it. Throw the clipping in a pile, and after they get 4 of them, they would have another cent. Obviously it's not equal, but they were always looking to save it because it was actually the value of the copper that they wanted. It wasn't the coin itself. This coin I had graded, and you'll note also that most of the coins that I have, I do right where I find them. This one I do not have where I found this one because I did send it out to get it graded. I do have it recorded in all my information, but I don't know exactly where that is right now. But this is a 1787 draped bust, facing left. It's what they call the Connecticut copper. And before we minted, obviously, it was 1787. The United States government didn't start minting until 1793. So what they did was they used, at this point now, they went from the Spanish to British coins. They would use that because it was copper and silver, but they allowed the states, some of the states, to mint their own coins, and this was a Connecticut copper. I found them from New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and New Jersey, and then the only other states that allowed them was, I believe, New Hampshire and Vermont being the rarest. I haven't found any of them, but this one's in pretty good shape. So I sent it out to have it graded. Let's see, this is 1806 draped bust. This is an American coin. As you can see, it's very fine details and environmental damage again. They like the green patina on there, but they get rid of some of the other stuff that's kind of grown on the coins when they've been in the soil for so long. I did find probably the most expensive coin that I found was a 1795, which was the second year after they were minting them, a 1795 large cent, and that was called a large cap bust. And the last one I'm going to show you today is a 1803 draped bust. Again, this was fine details, but now they call it corrosion. I don't know what the difference between environmental damage and corrosion is, but something to do with the metals that they attract to the coin while they're in the ground. That's my coins for here today. I'm going to go back and regroup. I do have hundreds of them. Don't want to go through every one of them, but again, if you can guess what these things are, hit the link below and leave me your email address with your guess, and we'll choose from the guesses and figure out who's going to win a coin. And the drawing is going to be on February 1st. Thanks for joining. Please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, 811 before you dig, and thank you.
Alright guys, thanks for watching today's video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click that little bell to get notified whenever we post a video.